Welcome back, Canes family, to another film review. Big one versus USF at the Hard Rock. We'll get straight into it. This was a masterful first drive. Way to go ahead and just let them know early on what this was about to be, because USF did have ideas. So 2x2 set. We're here tight with our tight end and CJ. Love to hear the concept. You'll get that tight end short quickly. That makes this linebacker have to respect it, step up, opens up the throwing lane. CJ gets that inside leverage. Boom. Just a really good first drive here. And you'd like to see just bread and butter plays like that. Not the biggest gain. However, this is something we saw develop over the course of the game for the first time in his career at Miami. He's using his legs. So trips here, 31 set. We have our trips bunch here. True zone read. Look at this DN from USF. Carson Beck has yet to pull one all year. He crashed, man. He is crashing. So it allows us to convert on this critical third down. Do not know why the condensed game doesn't have the yards or time of the game. But just great job here pulling this. If they're not going to respect it, nice showing it. Give Florida something to look at now. Get this motion going over O'Malley. We're in a 13 set. Trips over here. We're a tight end in the wing. Get him inside. CJ Daniels is going to head and clear. This looks like some cover 3, deep high safety. 2 corners going deep thirds. How you beat that is go ahead and press them vertically. And then Malley comes underneath. It's a levels concept. So you got someone going deep and then someone going intermediate. Something very popular in a lot of offenses nowadays. You just have to scheme it up different ways. This is like a sail route. You're going to run for that corner, but more like an out route. You're going to round it and let the ball take you to where it goes. So great job here from Malley, holding on through the contact. I do have a breakdown on receivers coming in, and one of my favorite I'm going to be talking about is Tony Johnson here. So here in the slot, right inside leverage, watch him recreate the line of scrimmage, pop, pop, 1, 2, and he's killing this guy in man coverage. Inside leverage, he has the inside breaking route. Get out in one step. You don't have to go ahead and make too much. You already have the inside leverage. Go ahead and one plant. Get available for Carson Beck. And look at that. Hands catch. Love to see that held on to the big hit from the safety. Love to see what Tony Johnson could be developing as another pass catcher for us. We're in our 12 set here tight. Our 2 receivers are Tony Johnson, Joshua Moore with our 2 tight ends. I thought this tutty was going to Tony Johnson first, but great here job scheming. You have Joshua Moore faking this block, and then just coming through the mesh, coming through it. Nice first easy touchdown for him. Just fake the block, come across. I definitely thought we were hitting this right here. Carson Beck was looking off just to go ahead and get this drag, but man, way to go ahead and step on that DB's toes and get across middle here. Tony Johnson might have something for us, but great job here from scheme-wise. Joshua Moore gets his first career tutty as a Cane. This is just 2 seniors at work here and just great scheme here. So we're in our 11 set 2x2 in tight. Love this because this allows us to get what we want coming out here. So this is going to be a little hitch flat combo, a little curl flat combo, whatever you want to call it, but it's more like a hitch. Look at Marion inside release. You have to. That's the key to this play. Reason why he's key to this play, he's attacking this defender's outside shoulder, right? So you're expecting whoever has flat responsibility to have to stay outside. So you want to attack this shoulder and then come away from him because you trust that this flat route is taking this defender, getting that space. So I know it's not the sexiest route and stuff like that, but the little details is what allows you to move chains. So pleasant surprise from what Marion's been. I think we hit big in the transfer portal. A lot of tight formations this game, and I love it, especially when we have these bigger receivers like a Joshua Moore and things of that nature. But just look at this offensive line play here, from CC to Cooper getting up to a linebacker to Pancake sealing and then getting up to a linebacker and pancaking. Shout out to Pancake and Fletcher physically finishing this run. Excuse me. But the offensive line play, oh my God, they have been playing lights out. This is just picture perfect, hat on the hat, getting up to the second level, sealing, finishing blocks to the ground, and then you have a 225-pound running back who's running full speed at you. That is tough to stop that run. This is another benefit of being in tight. They get these trips bunched here. You got our 2 receivers and our tight end with CJ split out. This looks like the Rams. Like this is what they made very, very popular in a couple of years ago. Really tight, so you could fake this run and boop, pitch it right back over to Marion, who's going to outrun 3, well, technically 2, maybe 3, because technically that guy gets into the ground. But you want to know speed, look at these angles he's outrunning. hitting that gap. Great job here blocking on the perimeter, as we've seen this whole entire time. Shout out to our tight ends. However, that's just speed going through. We'd love to see, just that little wrinkle when we're in tight and people just worried about, our passing concepts. Like now we got Marion come around and around, and you better giddy up. In our 11 set personnel, we're motioning Lofton over 2x2 set. We're motioning into the 31. This is just a straight up go ball. Carson Beck, a little bit underthrown. However, Joshua Moore, true freshman with the head tap. Look at that perfect pause time. Y'all see me out here with the keyboard work. But yeah, head tap. Literally just going up there and winning with the football. He has a lot. As a freshman, you always have a lot to work on as a receiver, but just to have that ability where it doesn't matter where you're at in your development, you make plays, you go ahead and head top people going crazy. We're going to shout out Marty Brown real quick before I point out what was going on with USS defense. They brought the blitz, so the corner was definitely expecting this ball to be a little early thrown, or at least thrown quicker. Great job here in pass protection. You want playing time, this is how you earn it, not just those rushing yards that we've seen him make. But let's go over here to USF. Look at this corner. They're trying to disguise, right? Look like they're giving a man look. Then watch him turn. He's playing deep third bail. And Joshua Moore is 6'5" with that stride. He eats up this cushion and gets behind immediately, bro. If you want to disguise coverage just because he's a freshman and you don't know about him, well, now you know about him. You better stop playing with my dog. Love this. Wasn't CJ Daniels' biggest game or Malley's biggest game. Receiver stepped up. Everybody knows this play. Watch Ruben Bain and this right tackle. It's 3rd and 7. You got the quarterback on the run. We ended up giving out a big play on the scramble drill. Not really mad at it, to be honest with you, because this is the definition of a hold. This does not happen if Ruben Bain is coming full speed down like he does. However, they do make this play deep. One of the few plays that they do make deep. USF, we kept them out of the end zone for most of the night, just that last one. But great job by the defense. But, man, that was a crazy miss by the refs. We didn't get like one flag thrown for us. Another one of those quick, deep passing plays that I was talking about. They just beat OJ here deep, man. It happens at the line of scrimmage. See this quick release on this jab. OJ doesn't land with his hands. Is able to go ahead and get stacked. So once he gets stacked, it doesn't matter. He can't run through that deep, through that receiver. And then just honestly, a really good ball, to be honest with you. Threw it inside like a post. It's more like a go, but just great job putting that ball out there and a good snatch. But yeah, that's what happens when you shoot hands and you don't land. Some of these receivers could make you pay for it. Good catch too. Good play. They had their fun early because they don't score. Something I'm going to talk about in my review with the receivers a lot more. Just look at Marion reestablish this line of scrimmage, right? So this is soft press. He's 3 yards. He's going to go ahead and eat up that cushion and then do his little pop and then get inside. That's great technique getting inside. And Carson Beck throwing this ball behind because you have linebackers after that read step coming over. So he's throwing that ball to the back shoulder and just great execution there. That's what you expect from two seniors. That's what I was getting at earlier. They are coming in here and they are on a mission to make plays. Guess what? We're in tight bunched again here with our 13 set. And this time we just have a little clear. Everybody's clearing out. You see people just getting downfield, being vertical. Malley on a crosser this way, and then fake pass protection off the handoff, and the ball's going straight to Fletcher. This is just a creative way to get one of our guys the ball out and early. Runs after the catch. Big play. Then we go back-to-back big plays with Fletch because I do believe it's time for this tutty run. And just look at the offensive line play. I'm going to pause it once he starts to break through this hole. As a running back, there's no confusion where you're going, right? There is no confusion where you're going with this football. As soon as you go ahead and see, look at the offensive line, man, from the kickout block from Markel to the crackdown from Sampson and Bachmeyer at center. I mean, just where else were you going to go with this run? I mean, just open this thing up. Shout out to Malachi. Again, the receivers have been doing a great job blocking all year. Shout out to him right here. And then one-on-one in the open field, Mark's just going to make you miss. He's 6'2", 225, and if he's not going to run you over, he's going to make you miss. Just an explosive run play from Mark Fletcher, who had one of his better games as a Cane. And it's nice to see him rolling, especially with this offensive line just mauling people. It's nice to see Big Fletch rolling, because if you can't tackle him in the open field, you would assume he's not going to make these big plays because of his size. But man, he gets going. This is going to be a scary sight for teams. These two, Toure and Bain, playing off each other in the stunt. They're both actually going to get hands on the quarterback. Shout out to Byron Brown for breaking in a couple of these tackles, but our defensive is ridiculously relentless. So they will go out, bounce off Toure and bounce off Bain. However, you see Armando Blunt and Akeem Mesidor closing the gap and everybody getting their hands on this quarterback. Imagine being Byron Brown here, right? Immediately you have Toure in your face. You got Bain. You got to spin out of him. And then next thing you know, you turn upfield and you have Blunt and Akeem Mesidor. And if by any chance you escape that, look at Popo. He was spying the whole time, ready for you. Look at this. This tells me, yeah, wherever you go, I go. So we had a great game plan defensively for Byron Brown's legs, something I was worried about. And defense came out there and just shut it down, man. Kudos to him. Canes fans, y'all know I've been telling y'all. Bryce Fitzgerald here. They're trying to get this screen here on third down. Delay, screen right over the top. A lot of traffic in here. Quarterback tries to fit it over the top, get a good play. And then Bryce Fitzgerald tracking the ball in the air. Crazy ball hawk. Went over it. Told you guys this. Did his film review, showed you how much interceptions he get. Obviously, he played 7. I coached him in 7-on-7 for a little bit. Man, he is crazy ball skills. So I'm not surprised that he's making these type of plays. I've been trying to tell you guys. Great job from Akeem Mesidor, obviously applying that pressure. The ball is supposed to be out quick. Gets overthrown. And imagine just the ball skills. This ball is going over lineman and under, man. Just to track that, all hands, just amazing ball skills. And just as a freshman, just continuing to make plays. We have Malachi Toney. We have Joshua Moore, Bryce Fitzgerald. Just big-time plays being made from this 2025 class, man. I really don't know what to call this backfield. I was like, is this the super wing tee? Is this like bat wing tee? But we actually run something with this later for a touchdown on the goal line. So it's a nice little setup here, 4th and 1. Just give this straight off to Fletcher. You see that Marty Brown? That's a tag, or that straight up just in this play, because we hit this later on. We probably seen on film that this was wide open. Went back to it, but just again, Mark Fletcher pulling through, CC pulling in at the end. But we'll get back to this formation, actually hit this touchdown on Marty Brown later in the game. Remember what I was talking about earlier? We haven't made anybody respect Carson Beck's legs just because he really hasn't had to run with that ball. Check this DN here. This is just a perfect read here. Look how he crashes down. And he got number 63 on. So, he wasn't probably not the best player on the field. But you just love to see that pull, right? You have to respect that great pull here from Carson Beck. We're starting to see him use his legs. Obviously, we don't want him to be out here running the ball all day, every day. But if you can move the chains and steal, first downs for us, we're going to take it. And then here is just a beautiful fake on the handoff. Again, showing more with his legs. Run over there to the end zone. Had the pylon, had the camera crew, faked out. Have everybody in the stadium going crazy. Look at the swagger. You see it in Hard Rock when the light show go on the touchdown, man, we be getting turned. And then Sebastian come out for the CANES Canes with this playing on the Jumbotron, seeing the fake and then going out there, bro. Like, it's a 1-yard touchdown, but we were going crazy. It's just lovely to see him starting to use his legs. And it's just right before Florida. Here now we're showing all this Carson Beck using his legs, just making them prepare for something else. And that highly anticipated matchup. So another dimension of the offense being showcased. I'm going to just let this play go through. Look at Chase Smith and this effort, man. Hurt a long time in his Miami career, but, man, he's still a big, physical, strong, fast guy. I mean, the injuries, while they've derailed his career, it doesn't look like they've derailed his athleticism, his next-level effort, and just intensity going to the ball. He's going to be rewarded in a couple plays. We'll be talking about Chase Smith. I just want to go ahead and point out this egregious hold at the point of attack on Keontae Scott, who's been playing some of the best nickel in the country. But just look at this, man. How is that not a flag? I don't know how USF, that coach Golish was crying on that sideline all night However, we could not get a call to save our lives. So as much as you want to say, oh man, Chase Smith had to go over there, why wasn't nobody over there? That's exactly why, bro. That was an egregious hold, bro. Keep pointing it out because it was just a staple in the offense, bro. We were tight a lot. This bunch tight set. Just go ahead and manufacture off alignment and spacing. That this is going to be a number one, one-on-one matchup. And we trust CJ Daniel with those, right? He's going to recreate the line of scrimmage, get his release. This is pretty much good coverage here. Carson Beck says, "I'm just turning around. I'm just going to give my guy a chance. Turn around for the one-on-one fade, bro. Oh my God." Looking left the whole time, knowing he's going to go for this one-on-one matchup. He sees his guy, CJ Daniels, who has been balling for the Hurricanes. Just fights through the pass interference, straight hands, gets it up, bro. Talk about a dog in the receiving room, man. I cannot wait to show you guys some of these clips I got gathering up from the receiver room. But just straight up, just playmaker. I mean, this ball is inside. He's getting held. He's getting grabbed. That's a form tackle. Helmet to the side, wrap up. That's literally a tackle right here that we're watching, and just boom, snatch that thing out of the air and get it to your chest, man, to corral it. CJ Daniels as advertised, if not way more than advertised. So we run through a little rough patch offensively, going into the halftime and then coming out of halftime where we were kind of sputtering and then before we regain. So we're in our 13th set in line tight end here, trips here. This is just, I think, just a bad throw here and decision here from Carson Beck, stepping up with some pressure, try to fit this ball into CJ Daniels. You got the underneath coverage, dropping in. He's running this right back here. It's just too much white jerseys here for you to try to fit this football into. So you had to throw one eventually. Here it is on his interception. Love the hustle here from Marty Brown and everybody else trying to corral him and get him down. But just it was not a good look. It looked like there's just some pressure trying to get it out there, give his guy that chance. But it's not the same scenario when you're on that one-on-one matchup on the outside. Now there's 4 really on 1 here with this throw. So yeah, he got hit. So it's not his best throw. However, I don't see a better trajectory that ball could have went where it wasn't picked. A lot of guys, this is just like a lead bubble pass. A lot of people do this to the running back. You got your receivers touching down, your tight ends, and your other running back coming out. Look at this. I hate chop blocks, man. It's just like you're diving at these guys' knees, man. Every time I see it, I hate it. Going straight at Bain's knees. However, he's able to keep his balance and run down there and make this big TFL. Beat that chop block, get on there. Could you name a more disruptive player, a better player who on defense this year than Ruben Bain, bro? I don't care what you're saying right now. It's been literally Ruben Bain's show all year. Defeats the chop and he just gets out in space. Big time football from Ruben Bain. Low-key been waiting on that RPO package. We haven't really been running much. We have some tags on the speed outs, but check now, right? Carson Beck is reading this defender right here. Look what he does now, Canes fan. He shoots. So Carson's automatically going to pull, and knowing that zero Marion is going right here into that vacated spot. So defender shoots here. You pull it and you throw that slant right behind it. Great job by 2 seniors executing. Again, hadn't seen much RPO. Was nice to see here. 31 set, just bunch tight. We're trying to fake this screen out to Brett. I would say Brevin Jordan. That's crazy. That 9 get you, bro. But lofted, and we're getting 2 releases up here. One, I think we maybe need to hold these blocks for a second. And Tony Johnson or Malachi, one of these 2 have to be outside the numbers. They're both ones are at the top, one's at the bottom. This is just too close. One of them has to be out here. So you see that safety. I know Carson Beck is throwing this ball right here to be back shoulder. It was most likely going to be a completion if Tony Johnson held onto it, because this is most likely a kill shot. But Malachi does jump way up high to bat it out. But I do want to put out there this was a dangerous throw. However, the spacing is what I have most issues with. I'm thinking Tony Johnson has to be out here where Carson Beck can throw this back shoulder football away from the safety. So, yeah, that's something they're probably going to clean up. That was a shot play for sure. It was there. Ended up being a INT. But I just really think that spacing is what happened there, because that ball would have probably landed right here. But as you guys can see, that might have been a kill shot. So just get wider to the safety, away from the safety on that. And we most likely, but again, impressive, crazy. If he would have caught this, everybody would have been glazing across the country, but ends up being an INT. They're on the road. They're down. They're trying to get a trick play here with the backwards pass to have him repass it. But again, got blown up here from Chase Smith. He reads it. He understands this is a forward pass. He jumps up, put his hands in the air, and guy spins out. But again, Ethan O'Connor right there, just people flying to the football. Just love to see Chase Smith out there, bro. 6'4". He looks 6'4", moving out there, bro. He's just an animal, bro. I love to see it. And then O'Connor finishing it off. People flying to the football. Everybody flying to the football. That's Armando Blunt. That's our D tackle. Moen coming out. Just a lot of guys flying to the football on defense. This is textbook when it comes to tackling. Shoulder pad right on the football. You guys know what time it is. Thomas at safety. We drop back. Byron Brown, we give him that room in the middle. This is one of the more spaces, open spaces we gave him. And you see Thomas coming down. He knows this is one-on-one in the alley. This is not a quarterback you want to be in this situation with. However, he does this excellent job here, closing space, breaking down. Shoulder pad, helmet right on the football, head to the side, no targeting in sight. It pops this thing right out. And then look at Chase Smith, Johnny on the spot. We've been talking about last couple plays. Look at him rushing out, dropping deep into coverage, turn around, coming back to the football. This is what that relentless motor and just effort gets you around the football. So when it pops out, you could be Johnny on the spot and make these plays. Was really happy for Chase Smith. This could be really big development moving forward if he can continue to ascend and just keep growing in that linebacker room, because his size and speed and just overall athleticism, Canes fans have been salivating over it for, since 2021, 22. He's been big time this season so far. 13 set trips here with our tight end in line. This is just a slot fade to Malachi Tony. Love this when he gets past the second level, that hands up. He already knows, and Carson Beck sees him. And look at this, bro. Carson Beck's putting it over this linebacker underneath the safety, and Malachi Tony coming back to the football, just snatching it out of the air. Just great hands catches from the freshman. I mean, he's continuously impressing. Puts that hand up. Carson Beck already sees it, lets this ball rip with confidence, even though he's falling back, fading away. It's not the best mechanics you would ever want to see on the throw like this. However, he gets it there. That's a dot. You want to talk back-to-back dots, right? So we go to the boundary, our trip. So 13 set, we're trying to isolate Marion one-on-one with this corner, and this is why. Because get a little stutter. Carson was going that way one-on-one the whole time. Just to put that ball in the outside shoulder because the safety's still over there over the top. Rainbow ball to the outside shoulder, fading over. What a beautiful ball. What a beautiful catch. That's great hands there from Marion, who, again, I think we struck gold with in the transfer portal, probably one of the more under-the-radar additions, people with the stop and go, under-the-radar additions, because everybody thought more he was a kick returner, including myself, and I did not see him making plays like this on BYU tape. That's for damn sure. This is a hands catch. Big Coop, even when he's off balance, falling, doesn't hold or grab, just gets that shoulder pad right into the thigh, and Mark does the rest. Break it through. Great job from our center and Pancake. Look I could show you the offensive line all day. Everybody getting over there on top of it. That's Matthew McCoy driving with a freaking big time pancake. I mean, there's mad pancakes over here, bro. The tight ends are walling off. You got receivers walling off, and then pancakes are happening right here in the middle. You got one more coming right here. This is just us exerting our will. And then again, if we don't get pancaked by this offensive line, then you got to tackle our 6'2", 225-pound running back. Had himself a day, Mark Fletcher. I think it was 3 touchdowns ended up with, but just going to break through arm tackles, strip through, and yeah, people are getting pancaked in real time. They do motion us out real quick, get us to align. What that motion does, gets everybody out this way, and just a great job here from the point man here on this block. You just got to find a way to win here because that's the reason why they get this touchdown. O-lineman get out in front on the screen play. If you don't win at the point of attack on that receiver, it's going to be a hard time stopping the screen. So this was USF's only touchdown. Not mattered at all, man. Defense played lights out. Bunch here. Looked like they wanted to go to Tony on the diamond release slant. However, this little switch release here, you'll see Tony Johnson coming in. They probably wanted to hit Tony here, which it was open, but Carson Beck sees Tony Johnson over the top here. Smooth, no wasted motion on his stem, gets right behind that linebacker, second level, and turns his head. Look at this. This is just two, veteran players. Look, he's throwing that ball here. He knows. So once he passes the shoulder, having your head turn, and being able to make a play on the football, make somebody miss, and now you're racing down the sideline, 50 plus yards. So great job here from Tony Johnson, someone who, if Josiah Trader isn't available, you'll continue to see more and more of, ready to be that fourth, maybe even third receiver if he continues making plays like this. Hands catch, the ball wasn't perfect, makes a hands catch and then runs after pretty much the biggest pass play of the night outside of Marion's bomb, and CJ's catch was crazy, but it wasn't as long as this one. So great job here from Carson Beck. These are two seniors working over the middle. Same as that fourth down play when we handed it off to Fletcher and we saw Marty Brown go out to the flat. He was wide open in that play. He's wide open again. They just completely just let him go. This time 5 sees it a little bit on the edge and tries to get out there, but just a perfect pass from Carson Beck. You were not stopping it. So I love to see it be wide open, and then we go back to it, execute for a tutty. About to be wrapping this up. Just want to give Jabari Anton a little love here. True freshman corner making a big hit here. Love to see that. It's a slender guy come up here and make a big hit. I was excited. I don't leave these games. I stood to the last second, so I was happy to see Booker Pickett just going to win here on a speed rush and had a slight hold. Guy let go, and to his quarterback still in this game taking big hits. I don't know why USF left Byron Brown in here, but just domination for our entire defensive line group. Booker Pickett coming in and holding the standard. 13 set tight end in line here. 3 receivers out, which gives to Pringle. Able to make this cut right off this block of the seal. This seal block right here. Ryan Rodriguez kind of gets blown up here, but because of the seal block here by our right guard, he's able to pull up and then pancake as well, finishing off. So get Pringle into the end zone. Horns down, baby. Just a great job to close this game out for the dub, man. Number 18 team in the country. They were good. Canes are just better. Go Canes.